How long do you have left, Troy?
Look, the doctors from back in May gave me 14 months. 2 doctors said it's aggressive, it's inoperable, and you should get your affairs in order.
Troy's esophageal cancer has now spread to his bones. Another heavy blow for him and his wife Diane, who have already had to sell their home and live off-grid to cover their ongoing legal fees.
For the last few months, we've been working on how I can run this place on my own because I'm not moving. I'm staying here. So to live off-grid, because we went off-grid knowing that if we spent every last cent we had fighting clubs, we'd still be able to live okay. I'm really sorry. So we moved here knowing that, like I said, if we were broke, and I mean really broke, we could still be warm. This was going to be our forever home. And now we're not going to be here for very long together. So I'm trying to grab every last moment and spend that time with him to make sure I've got all those little memories.
And, you know, it's important, to spend as much time as I can with Diane and the family, but also finish what I've started with Clubs New South Wales, and that is extremely important to me.
Troy worked for Clubs New South Wales, which represents more than 1,200 member organisations. He was in charge of the division tackling money laundering. In 2019, an internal report showed that over 90% of clubs were not complying with money laundering regulations.
Excuse my ignorance here, but how are the poker machines used in money laundering?
Look, it can be some simple task as taking your money from illegal gains, whether it being this afternoon's sale of ice money, sticking it into a poker machine, hitting collect and getting a winning ticket from the club or even a cheque. That money is then deemed to have come from a club, not from your earlier drug sales.
Troy claims the internal report fell on deaf ears.
Nothing was addressed. It was swept under at board meetings, under the carpet, and that was extremely frustrating. And even though ASIC is the appropriate whistleblowing tool, they've got no teeth.
So Troy went public with the findings, approaching independent Senator Andrew Wilkie.
This was widespread non-compliance in New South Wales registered clubs.
Clubs New South Wales launched civil proceedings against Troy for breaching his employment contract and Diane for aiding and abetting. They say these proceedings began prior to Troy becoming unwell. They claim he sent confidential documents to competitors and they took action in order to protect the privacy of Clubs New South Wales employees and commercially sensitive information. Troy is also facing an additional criminal charge of contempt, along with Jordan Shanks for an interview with Friendly Geordies.
Doing this interview and talking to me, talking to the project, what ramifications could that have for you?
I think having the cancer diagnosis may sound a bit weird, but that also further cements in my mind that it's the right thing to do, and it might be the last thing I do as well.
Clubs New South Wales has launched a strong counter-attack accusing Troy of blatant self-interest and lies and making himself out to be a saint. They also claimed he used every opportunity which gullible media would provide in order to seek millions of dollars in go-away money from Clubs New South Wales.
Unbelievable claims. In these situations, they want to reverse the role. They want to be the victim. They want to take the emphasis off them. I've never purported to be a saint. I had a job to do. I had a conscience. You know, we're not talking about minor crimes. We're talking about predicate crimes, child exploitation, terrorism, financing. So they can try and turn it around and put whatever spin they want on that. I'm not interested in their money.
Clubs New South Wales told us that it works collaboratively with AUSTRAC to bolster clubs against the risk of being exploited by criminals. For his part, Troy is taking action against Clubs New South Wales for defamation and employee entitlements.
I find it completely offensive that they would actually state that it's go-away money. We've spent all our money fighting this. and getting them into court. That's all we want to do, is get them into court. No amount of money is going to bring back my husband. He's still going to die of cancer. So go away money is really, really quite offensive. We're not going away.
Have you ever thought, though, it would be so much easier if we stopped fighting?
No. Because who's going to do it? If we don't do it, it just continues on.
Maybe wrong time, wrong place, but it landed in my lap, and do you pass it or do you do something with it? And I think the right thing was to do something with it. So I've got no regrets from that perspective. And, you know, if it takes my life earlier than meant to, so be it, as long as it's not wasted, I think, at the end.
If you want to read their response, the full statement from Clubs New South Wales is on our website now.